So we're going to work on some more of the rear brake stuff. Got the lines tied in from left to right on the rear. Did some crazy bending there to make that look nice and pretty, which is odd because no one's really going to see it unless you crawl up underneath there and look between a bunch of stuff that's in the way, but I know it looks pretty, and you viewers know it looks pretty. But we're going to figure out where we're going to put this proportioning valve for the rear. Probably going to keep, I'm going to equalize the brake pedal off of the master cylinder so that I don't have to mess with that there and try to balance it there. Reaching into a little cubby hole through the top of the foot box to try to adjust that and tune that based off of the link bar between the two master cylinders. So I'm going to do something a little bit easier, I think, hopefully. Don't have a whole lot of experience with an external proportioning valve or separate proportioning valve, but this is what we're going to put in. So it's Willwood proportioning valve. That's the part number there. I don't know if that's showing up, but anyways, I'll put the part number in the description as well for this video. We're going to figure out where to put this and then mount it up. But to me it looks like it's just like a needle valve, so you're basically going to limit the amount of flow that's going to the rear. It's got an in and an out, and probably going to mount this someplace where it's easy to get to so that when the car is in a roller we can balance the front and rear brakes a lot easier. So thinking mount this thing about in here. I believe the dash, I don't think the dash will cover it. Somewhere in here maybe. I don't know, I think I might have to look at some pictures of some cars to figure out how far. I mean, the dash is going to come out this way here, so it shouldn't be in the way, and it'll kind of be hidden so you won't really see it there, but you can reach in to adjust this one way or the other. So yeah, I think I'll put it in here somewhere. Give me enough room so I can bend a brake line in and then a brake line out. I am going to run the brake line inside here to come out down to the bottom rather than out through here and then down the firewall, just because the exhaust is going to be right here, the header. There's going to be some screaming hot temperatures, and I think what I'll end up doing is brake line, swing the camera around, see it a little bit better. So this one will go to the rear brake. I'll probably do a pigtail up and over, kind of snake around and then down through here, come across to the inside of this and then out, and then probably up through in here somewhere, maybe up through here, come across, and then maybe along this here might be easier. Come across through here to go towards the front, just in front of the firewall, and then down through here. So that's going to be pretty crazy, and I'll probably put like a union up in here before it goes through. Otherwise, yeah, that way the outside piece comes up through the bottom, comes up and makes the connection, and then I'll have just like a union connection right up here at the bottom corner of the foot box. So I think that's the plan. We'll see how well I can execute this one. This bend in here is going to be pretty complicated, I think, but brake line's cheap. We'll see what we can do. So picked up some grommets, bushings, rubber from local Ace for the rear brake line that I'm going to be running. Routing it differently than the way the build manual has you do it. I'm running it inside the foot box so that it's away from the close proximity of the header that will be coming out through there. But it's this is kind of what it looks like here. So I need to take a measurement for the size hole that I need to drill of this space in between here, and then I believe based on that hole size I'll have to cut off an end, put this on, put the flare nut on, and then reflare the brake line to get it routed. But the size of this thing is about a 1/2 inch. So looks like we're going to be drilling about a 1/2 inch hole. And with the flare nut, yeah, the only problem is that I can't get this grommet on without removing the flare nut. So I got to cut off the double flare, slide the flare nut off, slide this down, put the flare nut on, and then reflare the brake line, and then it'll be ready to bend up. But we're basically going to be working on running the line from just about where the foot box is towards the rear. So let's get to it. Alright, the brake lines are in and everything is tight. It's a shame that most of it is going to be hidden because, not to brag or anything, they look really good for brake lines. But let's take you on a quick tour, show you what we got going. We'll do the overall whole system, starting from the master cylinders going to the fronts and then the rears. So here's the fronts. there. So this one here goes to the front, goes up, kind of curlicues around, across, and down. Goes up and across to the line lock. Curlicues to the front brakes. Cross and over to the other front brakes. Master cylinder for the rear is the center one. Curlicues around. Goes up and over and down. Where it kind of pigtails around. Loops around into the proportioning valve. This is for the rear only. Comes in and comes out. And this is accessible from the driver's seat and should be hidden because the dash should come right about here, and it's kind of in between my knees, so I shouldn't hit it. And the brake line kind of curlicues here, makes a compound funky bend there, comes down the rail. Double tap this one for both mounts. Ran a really long rivet there, so it secures both on one spot. Crossing through. And this is where I opted to have the brake line inside the foot box versus outside, because normally it'll come out through here and then down across here. Well, the headers come right here, so it'll be a tremendous amount of heat in this area, and just wanted to keep that away. It goes down kind of behind this frame right here in the foot box, so I shouldn't hit this with my foot or anything. Through the rubber grommet, I did add some RTV for a little extra sealing. Kind of comes through, dog legs down past and then back up. So this is the lowest part of the brake line, this and the section down there where it connects. But jets across, picks up the frame rail, nice and secure. Dog legs down for that union connection. So this union is floating, not touching anything, so there won't be any rattling, but it's off the frame so that you can get a wrench on there and it won't rattle on anything. And it kind of comes up and across here, and this piece here makes a lot of complex bends, so it kind of hooks up over, makes a shallow bend to come into this frame, up, kind of like a weird curve over here. And kind of comes across, pigtails into the T. And this T feeds the rear brake, comes off of this T, pigtails around, up and across, hooks back, and kind of pigtails into that bulkhead fitting to feed the rear brakes. So essentially ready to run lines coming off of the reservoirs to feed the master cylinders, and then start bleeding these brakes and checking the brake system for leaks. Cool.